Hello there, every single one of you podcast fans. How are you doing? Due to many reasons we're going to be getting into, there was no RLCS this weekend, unfortunately. So, instead, we're going to do a podcast about basically, literally everything else. My name is Stumpy.
My name is CoolCarl93.
And welcome to what has been crowned officially,
unofficially,
the best podcast on the internet. Before we go much further, Cole, I've got some news that you have no idea about, do you?
What news could this be? Is this about your haircut?
I've not had a haircut.
Oh.
You had a haircut actually the other day. How was that? Before we get into this.
It was pretty good, actually. I feel like the shorter it is, the less the receding looks bad, is my theory.
I think I agree. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
I think there's a perfect level.
which is not receding. That's the perfect level.
No, to get rid of the recession. I think it's just give it a...
I'm not buzz cutting it.
Mate, I'm
not
telling you.
Fucking buzz cutting it.
Mate, right. Look. Look, before we get into this news, I just really feel like you should. I think you'd look cool with no hair.
Let me tell you when and why I'd buzz cut. Let's say we had an agent, you and me, yeah?
Yeah.
If she or he came to us and said, look, Cole and Stumpy, I've got you some work working with Eminem, right? You're going to be his official esports coaches. You're going to train him how to play
God, he or she's
Fortnite.
Done well.
And we're like, wow, that's really cool. And then she looks at me, she says, but your fucking embarrassment of a ginger splodge on your head has got to go. It's Eminem's only stipulation. That Stumpy guy, this is his words, that Stumpy guy, he's immense, he's perfect. And then he did a little rap, you know, he's loving Stumpy. It's a pro Stumpy rap.
Thank you, Marshall.
Yeah, but Emil, as he calls me, because it's like, you know, he likes to use the first name.
He called me Stumpy, though.
No, he likes to use my first name. I haven't earned the right to be called my gamer name just yet. Until I get rid of the ginger mop, that's on top.
Okay. Is that how he says it? And he's proud of that rhyme. And he makes sure to put that in the email.
Yeah, because there's an Eminem lyric somewhere where he goes like, the blonde mop that's on top, I've gone pop or something. He does like a little silly basic bitch rhyme.
Do you reckon after that, he looks up in the mirror and goes, well done, Marshall. Well done. He really peaked there, Mr. Mathers.
I'm so good at rapping.
I'm really good at the rap. Well, I, Cole, would like to have a quick word. I can't believe I can say this. Have a quick word from our first ever Poddy C sponsor. That's right. We have had a company sponsor the SubPar Poddy C, and that company is Gamers Ready. Right? So
they're a good one. They're one that people like. That's not a scummy sponsor.
No, exactly. It's no mock it. Right, Gamers Ready, if you guys don't know them, they're a Rocket League coaching website where players can book personal coaching sessions, like with genuine people like Yukio and like Aleutian and literally Verge. I'm pretty sure I've gone 2 out of 3 members of Dignitas there, but, you know, proper people. You can also have a cheeky little gander at some custom training packs and compete in tournaments run by Gamers Ready themselves. In the later RLCS-focused episodes of the Poddy C, the Player of the Week section is going to be sponsored by them. They've nabbed themselves a cheeky section.
That is so American of us. I love it.
Really, yeah. We need to throw to the Gamers Ready Player of the Week.
Yeah.
How nuts is that? All right. They also do CS:GO and Fortnite coaching. So if you want to be sick at like CS:GO, Fortnite, or Rocket League, visit gamersready.com, which is I'll start from the beginning. http://www.gamersrdy.com. That again is GAMERS.
No, if you're going to do that again, commit to it. Do from the beginning if you're going to do that again.
Okay. The URL is http:// I don't know if it's secure or not. http://www.gamersready.com. That URL again is http://www.gamersrdy.com. Once again, that URL is http://www.gamersready.com. Thank you, guys.
Why did you say the ready but spell out the bit that's spelt right? You said GAMERS, and then you verbalize ready. Ready's the tough bit.
Mate, it's my first read. What the fuck?
Sorry, I've questioned you and I shouldn't
have. Do you think Scorsese would do that if Leonardo DiCaprio fucked up and goes, what the fuck, Leo? What are you doing? He's like, well, I've never filmed The Revenant before. Like, I don't know these lines.
I think Stephen Fry would have nailed that. Stephen Fry would have just had some sort of instinct to tell him to say gamers and then spell out ready.
Maybe.
I reckon. All I'm saying is you're not Stephen Fry.
and I will concede on that point. Well played.
Very fair.
Well played.
But yeah, we've got a sponsor. It's fucking awesome. So
Awesome.
I was chatting to the bloke at the RLCS, Alex, this is, and we were just talking about stuff, and then we chatted after on Twitter, and then you spoke to him and did the business stuff, and now we've got a sponsor. It's amazing.
So it was created. I don't know if it was founded or if they grabbed it, but it was founded/created or whatever by Alex and Flump. You guys know Flump, Mr. Flump. So yeah, they're both part of it. Lovely guys. So yeah, head over to Gamers Ready. That URL again, http://www.gamersready.com.
This is like a study in comedy, by the way. How many times can you say that URL before it stops being funny? Because it's hit me every time. I reckon once more would kill it, and I don't want to get to that point.
No, I'm done. I'm done with it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
That's my
good
last
man.
one.
That's why we're on the same line.
Yeah, 6 reads of one URL is peak comedy.
Also, speaking of Flump, I watched his most recent video. It's one where he's trying to replicate a goal. Did you see this one? He's trying to replicate a goal that was scored.
I saw the Twitter clip.
It's really good. Basically, I think it was Rams back in 2018, the Rams that you and I know. He scored this goal where he was in unranked, and he had a teammate on his team, like someone he knew, someone that was in a party with him. He knocks the ball onto the backboard, aerials up, and then when he's in line with the ball to get the double tap, he backs out the game, and then the bot replaces him, and the bot scores the double tap aerial. And obviously that's why you need your teammate to be in game, so they can actually see it and save the replay.
Yeah.
And the video is just Flump trying to replicate it. I had a great time watching it. I was like, go on, son.
That's such a weird goal to ever consider scoring.
It's pointless.
Well, it's more than pointless. It's it's detrimental to everybody involved. Yeah. It's awful. It's dumb, but I love it. So yeah, go and visit Gamers Ready and all that. And also Flump's channel, why not? See what he's up to. Now, there was some big news this week, Cole. And typically, on the Monday after, the morning after, all of it settled down, we're having a walk of shame out of our living rooms at 4 a.m, back to our beds and try not to wake our girlfriends up. We have got a podcast to record all about the RLCS, right? All the games that are gone on, North America, Europe, the other ones. Unfortunately, this weekend, it was cancelled. Now, as far as I know, this is the first time it's ever been cancelled. Like, both days are just done so with no games played, right?
I remember someone saying that at one point they replayed something on a Thursday, but I think that was from like season 2 or 3, and I had no memory of that myself.
Also some games were played for that as well on that day, but then it all went to shit like on the 3rd series or whatever, and so then they had to do the rest later. So it wasn't quite as bad as a full broadcast day. But over the last couple of weeks in Rocket League, server issues have been prevalent. There's been just like lag. There's been a few disconnects. I've not had it too badly, in all honesty. But I've seen when I'm watching like streamers like Fruity and Yukio and stuff. They have had real dramas. I know that Fruity suffers anyway with various ISPs. Like he can't connect to German servers.
Right.
Like, and if he does, then he gets like twice as much ping. It's really weird. But apparently it's an issue for people in Denmark.
Sounds a bit like a race thing.
Probably a race thing. It's Germany, isn't it?
Normally is.
Yeah. So on Saturday, obviously RLCS due to start, all North American. We did our stream, and that was quite fun. So we were like playing it. We'd stream like 4 hours before the RLCS new predictions at the end, and the servers just all went down, and we couldn't play Rocket League whatsoever. So we made do.
It was really disappointing timing as well. So to make this all about me, just for a second, right? I was talking all over Twitter, basically saying I'm a really good player now. I'm 1700 plus. I peaked at 1786.
God, you're good.
The day before, or the few hours before you and I did that stream, and did some 2s, right? I touched 1530.
Oh, that's such a big drop.
I've lost 250 points, mate. It's a combination of struggling on stream and then getting distracted on stream and then losing. And then I solo queue and I think, oh, I'm really good now. I'll just blitz some fucking 1600 because I'm better than that. And then I start losing. So then suddenly you've got a bad stream and a bad solo queue.
Yeah.
And then the confidence goes. And then you're raging and you're tilted and all that jazz. I think we worked out that over the course of a stream and a solo sesh in 3s, a combination of me solo queuing and playing with good players like your Gregans, your Demoxes, I went 3-20.
God.
I was minus 17.
3 wins, 20 losses.
Yes. And then you and I did 2s. And we blitzed it, didn't we?
Turns out we're actually really fucking sick at Rocket League. I'm not very good. I'm good at 3s, but it's not my preferred game mode. Like when we did RLRS play-ins, I was fucking sick. I loved that. I did really well. I was very happy.
We got a comment, just quickly, saying, oh my god, Stumpy Goblin actually really stepped up for this, unlike Cole, who channeled his inner diamond through. It's like, fair, I can't deny that.
So yeah, we did all them. The highlights are on YouTube, by the way, if you guys want to watch them. They're really fun. Like 5,000 views on them as well. Really good stuff.
I know.
So yeah, but I can normally do my, like, skill floor in 3s is way lower than it is in 2s for me. Like, I can really be awful in 3s. Like, I can really fuck it up. I can do real bad. But in 2s, my preferred game mode, I feel like I know what I'm doing a bit more. And then I was actually, as you're on the downswing, I was on the upswing. And I think over the course of 2 days, I gained 140 points in 2s. And I got my GC rewards. And I think we ended up going like 20 for 3. I think it was literally the exact opposite of what you had. Somebody worked it out in chat.
That is beautiful.
So I ended up going to my highest rating ever, which is 1608, which I was very, very proud of. I've never even touched 1600, so I was very, very happy.
You should be proud.
That.
That's really good.
Yeah. So that was good. What a stream. Holy shit. What a world that was happening for us. And then the party broke. All the online functionality of Rocket League got destroyed. And it wouldn't let you invite anybody to do anything. There was no store. There was no esports store. There was no nothing, right? Mm-hmm. Because they had gone into maintenance mode for the servers. But basically, they were like, hey, look, let's try and figure this out. So they took them offline, and then they put them back online. Then they took them offline. Then they put them back online. And I think it was honestly about 6 times they did that over the course of about 4 days.
Yeah, they called up Roy off the IT crowd, and they were like, the servers are absolutely messed. And he basically said, have you tried turning it on and off again? And they did that. They did. Fair play to them. They took his advice. Times. Didn't work at all. They had to call in the big boys. They had to call in Moss.
Yeah.
And he was like, have you tried updating MySQL? Which, it turns out, wasn't the best idea 2 days before the RLCS.
Oh, God. So reading anything, firstly, about MySQL makes me feel like a fucking idiot. Because none of us are like, like we're gonna class this as coding. That's how little we know. Neither of us are coding people. We're not back-end devs. We know nothing about it. And during all of this, on the Thursday, they basically had updated MySQL, which is like a database reader language for Psynet. So the stuff that links your PS4, your Xbox, your Switch, your PC, all the stores, all the online stuff, literally every single bit of online functionality uses something called MySQL as a language to chat to their database of like ranks and shit and whatever else. They basically updated that on Thursday, and that then had so many issues going along with it that on the day of RLCS on the Saturday, they got to chatting for about an hour. So they were talking for a while. It got to about an hour through. Just desk, by the way. Nothing to do with any casters. Just desk.
Just the 4 of them.
Yeah. And I want to say, I was so absolutely impressed with how every single one of them dealt with it. Oh my God.
Yeah, we've talked before about how the RLCS crew are regularly left out to dry, and this is perhaps the biggest example ever. The only thing that was different this time compared to when, for example, I think it was Shogun and Carpet did their famous podcast when they had
the half an hour podcast.
Was it? Yeah, so that was tough because it was 2 of them. So at least for these guys' sake, there were 4 of them, which does make things so much easier. It means people can sort of jump in and out of the conversation as and when they see fit. But Captain Hindsight coming here, right? I mean, there are many hindsight things here, and I don't think Psyonix need me to inform them that actually, in hindsight, fixing the MySQL things 2 days before the RLCS wasn't the best of ideas. Yeah. I'm sure they're not scratching their heads going, where did we go wrong? I think that's aware, so I don't think we need to dwell on that too much. That's not for you and me to abuse them for.
Yeah. Absolute idiots in that regard, telling them you should have done the MySQL. Whatever the fuck that is, by the way.
But, right, the servers weren't fine up to the start of RLCS and then became terrible. It was about an hour and a half before they started really screwing up. On our stream, our RLCS preview stream, we ended up playing 8-ball pool because the servers were just dead. And by the way, you are the fucking most annoying person to play anything remotely skill-based with in the world because you actively dislike when people try and win in skill-based games. I don't get it.
Hit it hard.
You are
just
horrible.
Hit it hard. Everybody had more fun when you hit the ball hard and it went in.
That's not true. I mean, you're the same with poker. You're like never fold in poker.
Oh, yeah, there's no point. You've already paid so to be there. It's like going to a water park. They're not going any of the slides.
That analogy doesn't work in any way.
Yes, it does.
So during our stream, when it wasn't working, you and I were starting to get like, oh, can you imagine if the servers didn't work for RL? That'd be kind of funny, right? That would change some stuff. Maybe then they'd have to take a step back and fix or upgrade these servers with their magic money wand, you know? And we were like, yeah, maybe it'll be a good thing. You know, maybe some good will come out of this if it were to happen. But we never really believed that it would, did we?
No, never. Like, I mean, we were talking about it very, very hypothetically. But I always thought, at the end of the day, like, they're going to have some kind of backup. They're going to have some servers that aren't attached to any cloud-based system. They just hire it in a different country.
Backers mod.
Yeah, some in the Netherlands, some like in the UK, whatever, some on each coast of the US, just so they've got some redundancies. If there's no online play available for anybody, what you can do, you can still go ahead and just use your individual servers that aren't going to be fucked over by any cloud-based things.
And this is where I feel that you and I have every right to tell off Psyonix, because they should have realised the servers are down. The people in charge of that broadcast will either have known themselves or have been able to have a direct line to the people in charge to find out that there are no backup servers. If the servers are down, RLCS can't happen. And at that point, the decision has to be made to do a few things with the broadcast. Potential fixes. 1, delay the start time by an hour. It starts 8 p.m. our time. If they'd have said, look, servers are iffy, it'll be an hour later to begin, and we'll see if things are okay by then. Worst case, the broadcast won't go ahead at all. That would have been less embarrassing than going live, leaving poor old Leaf on a thread and Gibbs, and then sort of yanking them away at the last second. Another potential fix is they could have increased the pre-show time by 2 or 3 times. So normally it's half an hour, and let's say they have 5 minutes.
Well, that's basically what
topic.
they did, bear in mind. Like,
that's what they had to do on the fly, though. I'm saying they could have done that in a more official way.
I mean, the thing is, I think we can say all this. It's still very hindsight. Like, even if, like you say, it's contingency plans at the time, you can say all that. But ultimately, think of the fact that in the last few seasons, there have been server issues. And that has never affected RLCS so far. That's not to say that they're in the right at all.
Not as a broadcast, you mean? It has competitively.
Sorry, yeah, I mean, like, in the broadcast, yeah. The fact that there were no backups after that. There were no redundancies. There was nothing in place, meaning that RLCS could still go ahead, and yet they still went for it. To me, almost seemed like they didn't even consider it to be that much of an issue. I want to just quickly go back, and we were saying that they had to speak for an hour. It was Leaf, it was Turtle, it was Gibbs, and it was JamesBot. That was absolutely fascinating, genuinely hearing everything they had to say. They weren't just like saying bollocks. Like, I mean, we've had to do this with Gfinity, and quite frankly, we've slipped into talk about nothing. Like, you just sort of say vacuous crap, and like, it doesn't really mean
talk about
much.
Cars and just old Rocket League related.
Yeah, exactly,
jokes.
or hitboxes and whatever, which doesn't really matter. Nobody really cares. And by the way, any caster, any analyst fully knows that is a thing that they have done at some point. They actually spoke about some incredibly interesting topics. It was almost like Overtime from a few seasons ago was back, and they were talking really nice and in-depth about, okay, but what makes these teams good? And we've always complained about, they say that Cloud9 are going to do well this week because, hey, it's Cloud9, they're going to do well. But why? Why is that? And they actually went into it, and I loved it. It was genuinely really good content. So despite the fact that there was no Rocket League that ended up going on, despite the fact that RLCS had to be cancelled and delayed, the actual content from the desk crew was sublime. And I messaged Leaf after and said, you guys dealt with that so well, and it was really interesting. And he was like, yeah, it was ultimately tough, but he's happy that people did enjoy it. 'Cause people on Twitter as well, like who I follow, I don't know about the masses, but people I follow, literally tweeting saying, holy shit, this is actually really good. I really like this. Like, they're talking about some really good topics.
Maybe, you know how I said that if the servers were to completely mess up for the entire day, it would lead to something good? Maybe that's the something good.
Yeah.
Maybe the reins will be brought off the talent, and those guys are actually going to be able to dig into the amount of detail that they know, especially at the start of the season. Do you know what I mean? How's Mist going to do in his new team? Like, that's where I listen to JamesBot.
Hour and a half
I want to know what his thoughts are.
Like, for every week. There's enough that those guys know enough that they can do it. Like, it's never a case of the talent doesn't know enough about any of these topics. It's a case of they have got the studio for X amount of time, whatever. But even then, it's the RSS studio. Like, we've been there. They don't get rid of everything during the week. It just stays like that, like forever. So yeah, I think hour and a half pre-show with proper in-depth chat. Maybe chuck to a break every half an hour, rotate out the crew, get different opinions on, and it would be sublime. I think they did such a good job. So congratulations, and a massive appreciation to every single person on the desk, because holy shit, that was a tough sitch.
Yeah, you're completely right. I don't think they'd have done their stock any harm at all. I've got a question for you, though, Stumpy.
All right, mate.
With regards to the long-term influence of this, I suppose, when the broadcast was cancelled, and poor old Leaf had to look into the camera and say, guys, there's server issues. You know, he played that really well. There was just a little bit of a hint of cheekiness, which people really liked.
Perfect, yeah.
People on Twitter were congratulating
He's so
his
good, man.
performance. But Rocket League as a whole, do you think this has any damage to how it's perceived with regard to whether it's a tier 1 or tier 2 esport, any sponsors that were looking on thinking maybe I'll get into this game, maybe not, any esports orgs? Or do you think that they will just think it's part of esports?
I have no idea how far it's spread, to be honest. I think that's one of the issues with Rocket League is we'll know that this happened. No matter what, we will know that this happened. We'll know the attitudes. We'll have spoken to people who were literally there. And we've both got a warped sense of how much of a priority this is in the world of esports.
True.
I think my main point of call to see how far it spread is to look at what Slasher tweeted. Like, he's really good with keeping on the pulse and seeing exactly what happened and where, and if anything is big news, or if there's small news that he thinks should be bigger, he'll tweet about it or quote retweet or whatever. I don't think he even mentioned it. I might be wrong, but I don't think he actually even mentioned it. If say for example this did get big and like there was reports on it and they said RLCS week 1 is delayed and Deserto covered it and .esports and The Score, they all did articles basically slamming Psyonix, like, why would you do the SQL? You should have done the other language, right? Then that's when I'm like, look guys, you've had a few seasons for there to have been hints and signs that there needs to be a backup, there needs to be a contingency plan. If it goes wrong, like, you've got the money to have these servers elsewhere. I'm not going to pretend that I know that it's like, one server, please, for the RLCS. I don't think it's that easy, but I'm also not clever enough to know exactly how hard it is. So I am of the opinion that I don't think it's going to harm it too much in the long run, but I do still think it's a big issue. I think it shows unprofessionalism. I think it shows short-sightedness, and I think it shows a lack of forethought into what can go wrong. And when something does go wrong, it's not dealt with in a very good way.
This could be then the sort of 3 strikes and you're out. This could be their first 2 strikes rolled into one. They'll get away with this one and it won't affect how the esport is perceived in the outer world, the sort of opinion of regular esports people about what Rocket League is. However, if it happens again, then people really start to talk. I basically am worried that Rocket League turns into a joke. And Rocket League on that day was a joke. Twitch chat was treating it like a joke. Twitch chat didn't give a shit by the end. They were all spamming, spam this snack to bring Lawler back, which I thought was fucking hilarious, by the way. And I tweeted a screenshot of that myself because it was so funny. But it was very much like, it felt at the weekend like the cats were away and the rats were at play. Do you know what I mean? We were all having a little bit of a party. Psyonix weren't there. The mods had gone to sleep. And we were all posting things that were not safe for work on the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Just because at this point, you're like, we are survivors in this flame-filled city that's just been deserted by its overlords. That's how it felt, which isn't a good way to feel.
We sort of spoke about this the other week, and with Lawler as well, to be honest. That it reinforces the idea in everybody's head that esports is an afterthought for Psyonix. The servers have gone down. Obviously, that affects everybody. Don't get me wrong. It affects you. Literally can't play online Rocket League. That's bad. But the fact there is, I just keep going back to contingencies because a business and a company that big should have that in place for the biggest, their premier tournament, the tournament that they prevent other TOs coming in and one-upping. Like, if they want to make it so that that's the premier tournament, fucking act like it. It's a nightmare that that's even possible for it to happen. I don't know how prevalent this is in other esports. If this has happened, say, during an ESL or an IEM for CSGO, it's happened during the International for Dota. Obviously, a little bit different because that's all online stuff. But maybe MDL qualifiers for Dota, something like that. Does this happen frequently?
Fortnite qualifiers.
Yeah. If you guys know if this does happen more, reply on YouTube and let us know because I'm intrigued if this is a big problem in esports. It's obviously one of those problems that's going to happen in esports that will never happen in proper sports.
Before we move on to talking about things that have nothing to do with Rocket League, I think there's one more heap of praise that we should give to people, and that is to the Psyonix people, on the boots on the ground, Psyonix employees who worked all weekend to fix whatever the fuck had gone wrong? Because ultimately, these decisions are made above their heads. I imagine, right, having sort of worked closely with tech guys, that they were knocking on the doors going, guys, we can't do this 2 days before the RLCS. It's gonna go wrong. We have to test this 3 weeks in advance.
Put it through. Do it.
Oh, okay, sir. And they're just like shaking. They press the button, going, MySQL. And then, they spent their weekends fixing all this shit. It cannot have been fun. They would have known that the Twitter memes, the jokes, ultimately were mocking them to an extent, even though a lot of this wouldn't have been their fault. So we have to praise the guys that fixed this, because obviously I don't think this is a human error. This is a decision-making error, you know?
Yeah. There were some few people, but I want to reference two things I saw on Twitter. The first thing is people saying we should get credits for the downtime. Shut the fuck up. Shut up, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, fuck off.
Doesn't require any more than that. You're entitled shit. And I also saw that there were a few people, it was very much the vocal minority, that were saying about the fact that people like you've just done there are praising the boots on the ground fellas who have gone in, they've done all the hard work, the physical unscrewing servers, whatever the fuck goes on. And they were saying, well, yeah, but it's part of their job, like they'll get overtime for it. And it's like, well, that's also sort of not really the point.
Nor do we know that.
First, we know that they don't. Because it was somebody got a screenshot from what Devin said, Psyonix Devin, who's also been great with communication, and he said, "Yeah, we're salaried. Like we don't get overtime for this. This is just a salaried thing. So they're not getting paid extra to come in on the weekend and get rid of all their weekend plans. So everybody, just bear in mind, this is people fixing these problems. Big praise to Psyonix employees on the lower end who are fixing all of these troubles, and yeah." Thanks to them. There was a few things on Reddit as well I wanted to get to, if that's all right.
Yeah, please.
So I saw that Jorby, Mr. Lovely, one of my caster of the year last year, he commented on Reddit on a post about all these problems, saying basically he used to work in IT, and anytime he's done anything to do with SQL or any other database management, it goes wrong. There's always problems that you don't see. And to be honest, I'd anticipate that, right? Like, it's a massive system. It's trying to collate all the information that Psynet has, which is billions, right? I then replied saying, right, we've moved into clever person territory, so I'm going to put a couple of questions out there. Tell me if this is right or wrong for me to think this. And I basically said, you shouldn't do this before a huge event. Have a system in place to be able to roll it back, or have redundancy in place in case shit hits the fan. And a TLDR of what he said was, there's always issues just changing anything to do with SQL because everything relies on it for its information. It is the collating system, right?
I get that, yep.
We don't know the details as well. So it might have been a scheduled update that just so happened to take place on the Thursday before RLCS, or it was done directly to help out with ongoing server issues, but we don't know the details. Ultimately, it's all speculation still. Also, if it was a scheduled update, just you need to be aware of that and just obviously move it so it's not then.
Exactly.
And also, something that I found interesting was rollbacks may cause more problems to a live service. So because of the fact that you've moved everything from point A to point A.1, it means that if you then try to go back to point A, you might fuck up something along the way and it might create even more issues. It's not just a case of control-Zing it, which I wasn't personally aware of. And also, finally, redundancies are a good idea. However, without putting all the players on it and then basically making it the live version, you don't know what any of the issues are. And then if there are issues, you're still back to square one and you've basically not got a redundancy. And also, it's going to cost twice as much because you need that much space anyway for the redundancy. So, yeah.
So basically, just because something works in theory, it doesn't mean it works in practice when there are 300,000 people playing at once.
Yeah, exactly.
And then 80,000 watching one stream.
Apparently, it's because there's a peak of players of like 315,000 online at once, by the way. And so that's why some of the Psynet stuff was getting a bit fucky. I think Devin said, yeah, there was lots of critical errors happening. I was like, oh my God. Just they were there.
So Rocket League, once again, as it threatened to be in 2015, is a victim of its own success when the servers were just messed up for about a week with 500,000 people at once desperate to play, which I guess that's a good thing. Maybe this is a negative side effect of something good. And when it's fixed, we're going to be okay.
Yeah. Also, when I was streaming afterwards, I said, and I think I said actually on the stream that me and you were doing on the day, where I said they don't have dedicated RLCS servers. And a load of people in chat said, no, they do. They have dedicated RLCS servers. And I was like, you know what? My information's a few seasons old. Maybe they do now. That's fine. I then spoke to a current pro RLCS player who has been in there for a few seasons now, and he confirmed to me that they do not have dedicated RLCS servers.
Did you end up being right again?
Obviously.
For fuck's sake. Take a day off, mate. You're always perfect.
But no, I just wanted to say, why?
Yeah.
Like, my question is just why? Why is there not? Like, surely you want to separate the side that can't go down, your esports side, with the side that, if there's issues, is at least not going to affect the esports side of things. It's just confusing to me.
That's a question that you and I can't answer. Maybe if they're then tied to a barrel of where they put the servers. If they're on one side of Europe and one pro is on the other side of Europe, they're always at a disadvantage. Whereas if they're in random servers, then at least different people around Europe will get different disadvantages. I don't know. US East or US West is another one, because NA is all one region.
Get a few.
No, I know, but my point... Actually, that's a point. Are they played on NA East or West? Do you know?
I have no idea. Maybe... no, that's a
Are all the players on one
really
side?
good question. I don't know.
I know in Fortnite, West is the place to be. All like the tournaments are on Western servers. And I just crossed into my mind. I don't know if...
I do not know. Unsure.
Let us know. Viewers, listeners.
Yeah, do it. All right, yeah. So basically, a few questions of just like, why are there no dedicated servers? Why would this happen 2 days before RLCS starts? And what's going to happen like in the future? Because we don't know what's going to now happen with week 1.
No, we don't. So basically, they've got multiple options. I wonder if we could place our bets here.
Okay.
Because any of these work. Option 1 is we chuck an extra day before week 2. But they'll have to announce that very soon, because it's currently Tuesday as we're recording this. It'll go out on Wednesday, and that only leaves like 3 more days.
There's meant to be an early week announcement as well, by the way. Like, they said it was going to come out early this week. And to me, early this week is Monday. Tuesday. Monday, ideally, but...
We're quickly approaching not early this week.
Yeah, the latest update we've had is CRL update, lol. Where they've said... Because that was meant to happen yesterday, by the way.
I liked your comment.
Well, oh no, I was looking forward to this.
Yeah.
CRL update. The first week of CRL League Play broadcast will be pushed to next week while we ensure Psyonix stability is restored to normal conditions. Cheers, lol. We will update with new broadcast dates and match rescheduling as soon as we can. So that sounds like they're talking about the RLCS, but again, not clear enough. We don't know if they are.
So yeah, the options are either chuck in one extra game week before week 2. Another option is chuck in one extra game a week. So in week 2, instead of 5 matches, they'll have 6 matches, and they're filtered throughout the season. Another option is to chuck an extra week at the end. And the final option is to not bother. Fuck it. Every team gets a bye. Everyone wins. Yay.
I don't think there are enough words in English language for me to explain how much I hate that last one. Imagine if they did.
I know.
Imagine if they did. They were just like, hey guys, because we couldn't do week 1, we're just going to go straight on and do week 2. Thank you. I was like, sorry, what the fuck?
Yeah. Cloud9 are like, fucking hell, we had Sonkita Sonics or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
That's the team that they're the whipping boys, and we've just lost our go against the well, that's the luck of the draw.
Meanwhile,
Sorry,
the
lads.
Sonics are like, hey, we did it, boys.
We're going 1-9. Oi, oi.
So, what would I like? Chuck an extra game before week 2, one extra game a week, or an extra week at the end. Or, bear in mind...
Go on.
I know, I guess a week at the end, that could either be put the week 1 fixtures in week 9, basically, or bump everything up one. So week 1 fixtures still take place this weekend.
Yeah, it could be either.
I think they should keep the same order and do week 1 fixtures this coming weekend. And then just make it last 1 extra week, basically. Like, teams... It's not going to be a case... It's not going to be as easy as saying, oh yeah, no, it's fine, we'll just do week 2 fixtures. Because these guys would have been practicing to face their specific teams that they've said they're going to be facing for a couple of weeks now. So we need to bear that in mind, that their practice, their schedule and everything has revolved around the current order. It's competitively, it's just a bit shitty to like change it now, I feel.
If we were halfway through, if we'd got halfway through those fixtures and then the other ones couldn't be played, so say 3 had been played and the last 2 couldn't, I think I'd agree with you. But the fact that every single team in an equal way has got to suddenly learn how to face another team instead of the one they were preparing for, I don't think the competitive argument swings it for me. But it's certainly something to consider. I mean, that might be something that the pros would be listening to me going, Cole, you idiot, you're wrong.
I think it's just a case of like gameplay. Like if suddenly they're playing a completely different team, it's just going to be better from a viewer perspective.
That's fair.
If the teams are going up against the teams that they have been practicing for like the last week or two or whatever. I'd like for it to be that one over it being week 2 fixtures now. What do you reckon?
I'm thinking one extra game a week is going to be the way, and the casters and talent are going to hate it because it basically means that they have to sit there for an extra hour or so each week without getting paid anymore, presumably. And they're also, their voices are going to be tired, all that. But I think realistically that's the best way to do it because that studio might be booked. You know, we said that it stays as the RLCS studio, but maybe that's only during the RLCS season. Maybe not during the RLCS season. Suddenly it turns into fucking Fortnite Buckaroo or whatever the hell is going on in that game, which you can get really good at, by the way, by going to gamersready.com.
That's a very good point.
So I think an extra game a week, and also that'd be nice. Imagine that. You're the 5 games are done, you're still raring for more, and then it's like, oh, well, you don't have to crawl off into your dark fucking basement and cry just yet, because there's one more game before you have to do that.
I think, personally, that's the least desirable for me.
Okay.
Because it's already just so long. Like, realistically, it's already like an 8-hour day. Like,
it's not short.
Yeah, for the case, for the... I don't know. I don't realistically know how much one extra series would like add to the length. It'd be like another hour, but would that really affect viewing figures much? Probably not. But it's already so long as it is. I'd rather just have another week at the end, and so it just stretches out more. Because my weekend just gone was so lonely and empty. Like without being able to watch RLCS, which I probably planned for. I bought snacks. I was having a little cheat weekend, right? Because I thought I've been good recently. I'm going to the gym loads. You know what? I'll buy myself some Ben and Jerry's. And I'll get myself some, those pop chips. Really nice.
Yeah.
I love pop chips.
Barbecue?
Sour cream and onion, whatever they're called. Sour cream and chives.
So close to having a good
Barbecue
opinion.
are really good as well. They're nice.
Okay, I'll give you that. You're right there.
Okay, cool. Good. Okay, tell you what. My Ben and Jerry's flavour, I got, was it half-baked? Is that the one?
Mm-hmm. That's the one with brownie and cookie.
That's the one, yeah. Oh, really good. Love that.
It's It's half-baked vanilla, the actual ice cream.
Don't know.
Or is it chocolate?
Let me check. No, there's both.
Because the reason, so...
It's half white, like, ice cream, and half, like, chocolate ice cream. I don't know what it is. Give me a sec.
I am just the most basic bitch when it comes to flavours. Vanilla, for a start, isn't a flavour, so that's something we can... Well, I've said it now, it's a fact. I've said it on a podcast.
No, that's not how it works.
That makes it a fact. But chocolate ice cream is the best, because chocolate is the best flavour. And that means that the best Ben and Jerry's... What's that, mate? It's brownie. What was that noise? Did you just get zapped by a futuristic weapon?
So the reason why I like Ben and Jerry's chocolate ice cream, I don't normally like chocolate ice cream, by the way, because it's the fake chocolate taste. It's not actual chocolate. It's like chocolate powder, like put into ice cream, which just tastes like shit.
Like advent calendar chocolate.
No, but not even that, because at least that's
chocolate.
real chocolate. At least that's like an actual bit of chocolate.
It still tastes different, though, to normal, like a normal bar.
But with normal chocolate ice cream, I say like a big tub of like Tesco's chocolate ice cream or whatever, it tastes awful because it's like, it's not real chocolate that's been like melted down and mixed with actual ice cream. It's like a chocolate flavouring plus brown colour, which has then made it into like chocolate ice cream. I'm looking at the thing, and it says that Ben and Jerry's is proud to partner with fellow... I don't need to read this bit.
Who are they partnering with?
Why is it not telling me the fucking flavour of this thing?
Who are they partnering with?
B Corp's, Greyston and Rhino.
Now I know. Cool. I don't know why I bothered asking. I don't know what that is.
Ben and Jerry's fun fact. Yeah, why not? We'll go... We'll tell me the fucking flavour of the fun fact.
This is better than RLCS, surely.
Yeah.
Stumpy Googles, episode 1. The new audio podcast. Stumpy just Googling things you hear typing, and then...
Oh, okay. I need to look at like the tub to try and see what it says on there. Hang on. Right. It
But
says...
did you not eat yours at the weekend then? Is that why this is such a thing?
No, I did. I ate it anyway.
How can you not remember?
Vanilla ice cream. There it is. 'Cause it's got loads of other stuff going on. So it's chocolate and vanilla ice cream with chocolate brownies, which are so good, and chunks of chocolate chip cookie, which is so good.
What's the science behind the brownie staying like soggy, like squidgy, despite being in ice cream? Surely if you put a normal brownie in ice cream, it would just be frozen and have to thaw
and also
out, right?
freeze it after that as well.
Yeah, it would get like freezer burn. They must have to add something to it, like gelatin or something, to keep it squishy, right?
I've got a video for you off the top of my head as well. Are you impressed with this?
Is it how it's made?
It's not how it's made, but it's similar.
Okay.
It's I think I've sent you a link to it before, maybe not. Oh, yeah, we've watched it together. Bon appetit.
Oh yeah.
The gourmet makes, and she and Claire Saffitz. I would die for Claire Saffitz from the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen. Is a cool T-shirt. And basically she makes. So she gets a treat like Pringles or Twizzlers or Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and then she tries to gourmet make it. And so over the course of 3 or 4 days, she has a couple of breakdowns in between because she can't figure out one thing that they do mass produced. She's made M&Ms before, and it's just a nightmare. And yeah, so she goes through it, but she makes loads of flavors. And she basically explains why it is and what they add in and how she would do it. She goes, "Oh, okay, the brownie's a bit too hard. I'll add this to it," and then it just works, lol, because she's clever at cooking.
I've got the tab open on my computer. I'm genuinely going to watch that because that is something I've wondered for a long time. How those brownies are squidgy.
Good
it always
video.
made no sense to me, and now I'm going to know. And then I'm going to have to get some Ben & Jerry's, aren't I?
She makes 8 flavors, I think. She loves it. She goes big. What's your favorite
Good
flavor?
stuff.
Yours is just the brownie.
Brownie.
I can
yeah,
get behind
sorry,
it,
I know it's not. Okay, I'm surprised there. I thought you'd hate that.
Purely because at least the chocolate ice cream in Ben & Jerry's is actual chocolate ice cream. It's not cheap shit chocolate ice cream.
Fair.
So yeah, fair play. No, I like that. Good stuff.
You were saying earlier on our Discord that you are getting to the point where you have to start eating more food. Were you feeling a little bit faint at the gym, my man?
No, I just felt a bit weak. But then actually, that was when I was doing back. So I did back and biceps today. And back was fine. Normally back's one of my favourite days, but it was fine. And I was a little bit disheartened. I was it's really. I was going to do back and biceps yesterday, but I just knew, I'll do a shit day today because I'm not in the mood for gym. So I'll do legs and abs. I'll just go with that. It's not a good day anyway, so I may as well lump it in with not a great
Makes
feeling.
sense.
So it's double bad. Now that's over with for another week. So I did back and biceps today, and I was just doing back stuff, and I just felt a bit not you just don't feel in form, and you'd be like,
yeah,
a little bit annoying.
It's more in your head. I know that I've been to the gym. I remember going to the gym once years ago, and it was back when I was at university. Cheers, man. I was back when I was at university, and the walk was about 25 minutes, and I sort of stodged my way during the whole walk. I had my headphones on, put this on, maybe that'll pump me up. No, not at all. And I got there, and I sat on my little bench, and I picked up a weight, and I lifted it up, and when it was at the top, I brought it down, and I just thought, what is the fucking point? I was there just holding this weight, just having a mini midlife crisis. Just going, I'm going to put it up, then I'm going to put it down again. Do I really care? I ended up doing I must have been there for about 10 minutes. I just thought, I don't fancy this at all today. I cannot get my head around it. Which is rare, because normally I really enjoy it when I'm there. I really enjoy it for about 40 minutes, and then it's intensely boring. It goes from the best fun I've ever had to intensely dull really quickly for me, the gym.
Someone on our Discord said that they go to the gym for about 2.5 to 3 hours every day.
That's too much.
That's way too much. I have no idea
That cannot be
how they do it.
a productive way of doing it at all. I mean, maybe it is, and I'm wrong, but I imagine that once you get to that point, you are way beyond the point of diminishing returns.
That's
surely.
my thought as well. If you went there for 2 hours one day instead of 3, it's not going to make much difference, I feel.
What's your regular time at the gym?
About an hour or so. It depends. Some days are a little bit longer, but I'm using it's a chance for me to promote this app that I'm so fucking in love with. JFit or JFit, I'm not too sure. It's JEFIT. It's on Android. Don't know if it's on iPhone as well. But basically, I know you've heard this before, but it gives you a load of pre-made workouts that you can click on. So you can say, hey, I want to make a workout plan, and you just select legs or biceps or whatever. You can do all that, or you can do chest and triceps or something. And it's got fuckloads of plans. It's got weight loss plans, it's got mass strength plans, it's got everything. This is all in the free version, by the way. So you can then have them put into a workout day, and it doesn't then just say, okay, you just do this workout. It has a little GIF showing you how to do it. So if you're not confident on what you're doing,
As a little man.
it's literally just,
a little man doing his
2
little
or
arms.
3 frames. So for the shoulder press, we'll have it there, and it'll just be like that, and then a picture of him going like that. And it just does that, and it just shows you.
Stumpy is
Just
lifting
do
his
this.
arms for the sake of our listeners.
Is that the audio description?
Yes. Stumpy is putting his middle finger to the camera. He's now making a love heart sign with his hands. He's mouthing the word cool card.
I'm finger fucking my fist with my middle finger.
I was close.
You were close.
I've got body language dyslexia.
So yeah, you got a load of that. You can also do custom plans. Another thing that I love is it's got rest timers, right? So normally, if I'm at the gym, I'll accidentally get engrossed in Reddit, or I'll see a soccer clip, and I'm like, oh, why did that free kick happen? And I'm there for 2 minutes, just sitting on a bench, and then I'm the bad guy. But you've got rest timers that like you put in your weights and your reps that you've done, and you say, cool, I did 15 kilograms and I did 10 reps. Cool, log, set, and rest. And then it has, cool, 60 seconds, do whatever the fuck you want. And it just counts down, it gets to 3 seconds, and then you got your headphones in, and it goes, boop, and you're like, shit, okay, right, I'm ready to go.
That's good.
But it just keeps you going.
Yeah.
And like, you can add on like 15, 30 seconds if like, say, you need to go get water, just add on a little bit extra. Perfect app, I love it.
So that's Jafit, J-F-I-T. Jafit, J-F-I-T.
No, so you're spelling on the easy bit again.
It's funny how you and I gym so differently, by the way, because for me, I'm much more cardio based. I don't really put much stock into how strong I am. If I lose an arm wrestle to someone, it's not bothered me. I've never been particularly strong. What I do love though is if we need someone to run and get something, people go, "Oh, go on, Emil," and me being the one that's trusted with that opportunity of going for the run up and down the road to pick up the thing and then come back. I fucking love that shit. So my gym sesh is I get to the gym. And the first thing I do, get some decent music going, and I go on the treadmill, and I will try and get as close to it's jumps of either 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 5k. If I do the 15 minutes, I'm like, I can really do one here. And if I'm still sort of feeling it after the 15-minute run, I'll try and get a decent 5k time. But I haven't been in a little while, and today I was like, when your breath starts to get a little bit short, and you can sort of your throat. It's really hard to describe. Your throat is like gets a little bit cold, like breathing in, you just sort of feel your throat.
I know that.
Like a knot there.
Tell you what's going to shock you. I used to run cross country with my school. Right. I hate cardio, by the way, just a heads up for anybody. But me and Colin have had many conversations about how much I hate cardio.
I don't think you've ever told me that.
Yeah. So I used to run. I was alright at cross country. Used to I have no idea what the distance was, but I was alright. I remember the reason why I started to hate it is because I'd never had headphones in, right? Because I was younger and I just didn't care. And I always heard my own breath, and it just annoyed me. And it was always just the same. That was it. It was that for about an hour and a half, and I was just so annoyed. So I stopped doing it because I never thought just buy headphones. It's because I hated the sound of my breath, right? And then I remember that exact feeling you're on about, where your throat, sort of at the bottom of your throat, it just gets cold and it just hurts. Yeah, I know exactly what you're on about.
So I had that today for the first time in ages. So I had a really short gym session because it actually turned out I had some voice work to do at home, so I cut it a lot shorter. But basically, long story short, the main bit of the gym for me is I go and I do my run, and how good a gym session is how good that run was. After that, I'll lift, and I'll still sort of push myself there. But I'd never really know what my strongest one is. I just do it till it feels right, and I don't really track what number it is. I just shove it in the hole below, and the hole below that if it's still too easy. I don't actually know how strong I am. But it seems to be working. It does work. My body changes very quickly, so it's making some difference.
I'd recommend the app anyway because it's got cardio stuff in there as well. So
I know you've been pushing it to me for a while. I'll have to try it out for sure.
Honestly, I'm the biggest shill of this app. I saw this one jacked dude on Reddit just say, hey, yeah, I use this, and you can download other people's plans as well. So this guy was cool. Yeah, this is my plan. You just click it, and then you've just got his plan, which is fantastic.
When you're looking at his plan, does it have his body type? So you look for a body you like, and it's this is how to get this body.
No, it was literally just a link that he posted. I don't know if that is a feature on there.
That'd be good.
But it might be,
gallery,
yeah. I mean,
Tinder,
I normally basically make my own workout plans because I went to the gym fuckloads when I was at uni, 6 times a day for about 2 years, and you're looking incredulous.
6 times a day?
Sorry, a week. Sorry. 6 times a day.
I didn't know if you... The thing is, I wasn't trying to be a smart ass. I just didn't know if you were exaggerating for comic effect or you genuinely had some sort of addiction.
God, that would have been amazing. But yeah, I was in really good shape at the end of uni. I loved it.
I fucking hope so for 6 times a day.
And yeah, so I know exercise and shit. But still, if you're in there, you just look at the gif of the little man doing the shoulder press and you're like, I will do that. It's good.
The gif does sound cute.
Yeah, really, really enjoy that app. So definitely go give that a download. Shall we go to the Player of the Week call, Carl? Sponsored by Gamers Ready.
I'm so ready for this. Go on, mate. Do it. I'm just going to sit back and just lean back with my my hands on my head and be like, as you do this.
Okay, so the Player of the Week, sponsored by Gamers Ready, is the servers, lol.
Woo! I bet that, I don't know who the first casters on were. Let's say it was Jorby and Achieves, right?
Yeah.
I bet they were there going like, looking at their watches going, 15 more minutes and legally we're allowed to go home if it's this late. I hope it's going to happen.
You see Joey walking in front of the camera taking his tie off. Just like, guys, we can go. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You know we can leave.
School's out, baby!
So yeah, the servers this week are the Player of the Week, sponsored by...
Game is ready!
Yay! Well
Where
done.
you can be good at Rocket League and Fortnite and CSGO, which are all good games.
That URL again. Right, so shall we move on to just a couple of other little things?
Yeah, well, let's be speedy now. We've talked about that for a lot longer than we thought we would, so let's be speedy, boys.
As part of general stuff to discuss, Violent Panda released a video all about the Dignitas's comms, right? During their series with Vitality. It's about half an hour long. He posted to his Twitter. It's on his YouTube channel as well. And oh my god, it was incredible.
So, safe to say that you're a fan then, because there was some discussion that was brought up on our Discord of some people saying it was too much, it was overwhelming as opposed to useful. Basically, for anyone that's not seen this video, and I highly recommend it because it actually shows what they were saying during their overtime against Vitality, which to me is the greatest Rocket League singular match of all time. Basically, the whole time, Panda's like, I'm left, I've got boost. He's got boost there. He's moving on the right side, UK, you get that, I'm back. Just a non-stop barrage of comms. Good comms and precise comms. It's not like he was just chatting about what he had for breakfast that day or some app called Jafit or whatever. It was really good comms. But yeah, there was some discussion, there was some debate about whether it was overwhelming or exactly what you'd need in that situation. Stumpy, where do you fall on that discussion?
I absolutely loved it. The amount of comms that he was going through they were all the time. They were constant. But I see it as echolocation, basically, because it means that Yukio and Astral know what's up. They might have ball cam on. They've been looking at a ball above them, but they know that there's somebody who's coming in and they might get beaten to this ball. They know where the ball is going to be going. Like Panda every now and then would just call pass mid. And you know, okay, I'm going to get it somewhat cleanly. I can angle my car and touch it mid. And it's just so quick. It was so efficient. But at the same time, I've realised why some people would be overwhelmed by that if that was happening in like a ranked game. Like, I think that's what people were looking at it from. They're looking at it from the perspective of it was a lot of comms and from one person as well. And Yukio did the hype and Astral basically just didn't really say much, which is fine. That's just sort of okay. That's his version. That's how he does things. But it really seemed to work, and I think it fit the situation perfectly.
I think that it only works if he's with quieter players. So Yukio was very precise when he said something. It was like, oh, nice try, and that's all Yukio, pretty much all Yukio would say. As you mentioned yourself, Astral was the strong, silent one. Even when the goal went in, Yukio and Violent Panda are going fucking mental. They stand up instantly, all that, and Astral just stays there and stays looking at his screen. He's clearly someone that needs to be in the zone.
He also says to them, calm down.
Does he really?
Yeah, he goes, hey, guys, calm down. It's just a goal. And like,
oh, that's brilliant.
Tries to bring them back to a level. Also, Verge was really good in that video.
My point is that if Panda is playing with another player that's trying to speak as much, it would be a fucking mess.
I agree.
So you have to be a very specific type of player, it turns out, to play with Violent Panda based on those comms. But if that does suit you, then holy shit, it must make you feel invincible. When you, me, and Doomsy have been coming, when I played with Gregan, he's really good at them as well, obviously, because it's Gregan.
Naturally, yeah.
It just makes you feel so much more confident. You're going for a ball, and they say, I'm behind you, and it's like, I will take that risk, and, you know, instead of just hitting the ball, I'll try and move my car all the way to the left of it, which I might miss, but otherwise I might get the perfect touch that pushes it into the other side of the field, you know what I mean? It sort of lets you know when to take those risks or not. So I think it was brilliant. And also, as well, the thing that really stands out, you said you wouldn't want that in ranked, and I get that. And the main reason why not is listen to that video, guys, and just listen to the crowd. And imagine your heartbeat just fucking going, and all you can concentrate on is the crowd going mental. They're cheering, and you're wondering why they're cheering. Maybe you were picking up boost, but you can't wonder about that because you've got to wonder about where the ball's going. A Violent Panda just constantly talking you through it means that you focus on two things. One, the game, and two, his voice, and that crowd has drowned out so much more. Yeah,
to me, it's what a captain should do. Like, if that works for the team, he has fit that role absolutely perfectly. It also really emphasizes how absolutely incredible his game sense is, and the fact that he knows, firstly, what to do internally. He knows where the other players are, because it might help with him, like if he says where they are, it then sticks in his memory better. He knows where his teammates are, and he knows where the play should go next, and he reacts to all of that in 0.1 of a second. His game sense is absolutely unreal. Like, being able to say all of that, as well as being one of the top players in the world, is absolutely incredible. I wonder how much it changes between teams, and if he took that role on when he was with K-Dop and Turbo as well.
That'd be fascinating to watch back over the years. You know, if he wins the World Championships 2 more times, it'd be great to see how he started his comms and if they've evolved as the game's gone on. Just quickly, I remember that when we did the Gfinity Elite series, and you and I were casting together, I used to hate it when you'd hear from production and they'd say, throw to comms in a second. Because it was right when you were in the middle of a great cast,
Yeah.
you know, you're really getting into it, you're feeling it. And then you have to go, let's see what the players are saying.
And fucking Shakaron is there, just goes, I'm up. Yeah, pass left.
I got it. Got boost.
All right. Yeah, middle.
He's shooting.
Nice save.
Boring, innit?
Fucking
And
dull.
then you just stood there for ages. So I think that I've learned that there are definitely a place for player comms in B-roll, in cinematic videos after.
I still think it's post. The place for it is post.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah, definitely. So like after at the end of it, I like how League of Legends do it, where at the end of each match or map, whatever you want to call it, when the casters say we'll be back in 5 minutes time after this break, at that point it then goes to a highlights reel of the match with player comms over the top of the highlights. You hear them go, I'm left, right, back. He's getting these boosts. He's using the elixir. And League of Legends is fucking mental. They're all fucking just screeching at each other.
So much. Like it's not even just one person on that team there. It's all
it's all
five of them. Like
so crazy.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen that video, go to Violent Panda's YouTube channel, give it a watch. When it got to the Game 6 overtime and I was listening to those comms, I was getting chills the entire time because Panda puts like a little annotation in the video saying, this is where the crowd hyped us up. And they started reacting to the crowd. And you can tell when all the clapping came in, like during those like series of saves from Vitality, Panda then got even quicker, even faster. He got more intense. He was screaming. He was shouting. You can see Yukio was like fucking like, jumping up in his chair, getting involved. Astral was there, just sitting there, just being fucking Belgian or whatever.
Playing Rocket League, yeah.
But no, it was so. It was an amazing insight into what goes on. Also, Verge, in between games, you can hear his comms, and he is like, he's just such a good coach, man. I'm such a big fan. Like, he knows what to say, when to say it, and how to match the mood and the energy, and how to get them to a really good place. I loved it. So, cheers, Panda, for releasing that video. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I hope that your YouTube channel blows the fuck up, so I've got more YouTube content to watch.
Shall we just very, very quickly touch on some SubPar stuff?
Yeah, let's give ourselves like 2 minutes on this, like really quick.
So a couple of milestones were reached recently. On Twitch, we reached the highest number of individual subscribers that we have literally ever had, clearing it by about 180 people. We have now got over 500 subscribers on Twitch, which is huge.
I'm not often lost for words while I'm streaming, but I was streaming yesterday and we were blessed by the presence of InCivic, who's a man who's done so much for the Rocket League community, you know, gifting $1,000 at a time to up and coming content creators and to pro players, just basically saying, please keep doing what you're doing because it's good for Rocket League as a whole. I was streaming and he donated or gifted 100 subs. And I just saw out the corner of my eye, you know, when you see your activity feed, sort of like something appears, and I was like, oh, a sub. It just went, and I was like, what the fuck? What? Do you know what I mean? Like, I've not been left like that maybe ever while streaming. It was incredible. So, InCivic, if you're listening to this, thank you so much for that.
Super, super big of you. We're like 100 subs now off getting the next emote slot as well. So, if anybody wants to help us out there with your Prime or whatever, twitch.tv, sorry, http://www.twitch.tv/subparbutnhd. SubPar Go there, lol. We also reached another milestone on Twitter, 12,000 Twitter followers, which is pretty fucking sick.
Not bad.
Yeah, well done. Cheers, everyone. Follow us there. Same name, SubPar and Cole got himself, actually, before we get to that, everyone loved the overtime video. The overtime video they released, it has been heralded by many people as the best Rocket League video ever made, which is an incredible compliment. And we're still sucking ourselves off over it, because it's just pretty fucking sick, actually, if we don't say so ourselves.
Yeah, and finally, our next feature video features a new man on VO, Mr. Goblin.
Oh.
And you've done a really good job of it so far.
Thanks,
we
man.
haven't edited it yet. I think that'll be out, we think, like towards this week, but maybe after. You know what we're like
Yeah,
with YouTube.
couple of
We'll never
weeks, yeah.
promise that it's out on Friday. But yeah, no, you've done a really good job so far. There's a couple of retakes to do just because the video evolves. But how have you found doing voice work?
It's good. So it's a little bit of a different style. So Cole is still going to be the guy with the proper scripted, strict like words of what needs to be said in certain like cadences, whatever. Good voiceover for that. And then this other video, you're welcome. This other video is more like conversational. It's like an inner monologue. So it's more like riffing and more, okay, you've got 3 things to get through, tie a thread somehow between them on the fly and see what happens. And so that's more my style. And it's fun. It's been really nice just like saying stuff, saying like part of a joke and then thinking, right, okay, how can I, cool, I'll give that another go. And then just say it and then just see what your mouth comes out with.
That's how I see writing. Where you go back and you sort of have that first thing you said where you have half the setup and you're like, oh, imagine if I added that. That's why I love it so much. I'm so glad to hear you sort of see the joy of retakes. Genuinely, because that can go either way. I know that you're definitely a man who likes to do it on the fly.
Yeah,
like
see
with
what happens.
content and stuff like that. So exactly. So I'm very, very happy. I'm pleased for you to sort of see the joy of the other
Yeah.
side.
So yeah, that's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks, hopefully. Edited by Doomsy. And oh my God, Doomsy's really good at video editing. He edited the overtime video, he edited this video. He edited our RLRS Team Rocket highlights video with a little montage play where it's that guy who like does the little sort of like keepy uppies in the middle and Cole comes in and just he can fuck off, can't he? It's fantastic.
So funny.
So yeah, SubPar is going really well at the moment. Exciting times at SubPar headquarters, at SubPar Industries.
Yeah. And final thing as well, we now stream in 1080p. All of our joint streams will be in 1080p. My solo streams will be 1080p. I basically got a streaming PC. And I streamed for the first time on it yesterday. There are 1 or 2 very minor teething problems. For some reason, the stream couldn't hear our Twitch alert, so I had to do those manually. I was singing our sub jingle for God knows how long yesterday and doing Russell's voice.
Did you do it for the 100?
Doing that impression. No, I did not do 100 sub jingles, but I will, and I'll put it on YouTube. And it will get 6 views.
Just that.
And that will be worth it. Yeah. Yeah, like Mr. Beast there.
Yeah, I like
but
it.
it's fucking brilliant. So thank you to everyone who pushed me to get a streaming PC and to the advice. I made a tweet a few weeks ago basically saying, does anyone have one? And then CJ popped up. Like, yeah, man, I would never change it. It's the fucking thing to do, you know?
It's the
And there
dog's
we go.
cant. So yeah, I'll get one at some point, but I'm just not too sure when that'll be because I am in the process of buying a house, which is fun. So that's good. So yeah, I'm currently trying to sort all that out. I live with my girlfriend at the moment, but we're actually we've got like a mortgage and shit. Which, by the way, I got a phone call during my shower this morning from my mortgage broker's admin. And she's like, "Hi, is now a good time to talk?" And I'm there just naked dripping. I'm like, "Yeah, it's great. Don't worry."
Nice.
And she said,
By the end of the
"Yeah,
conversation,
we've got-
she was naked dripping as well.
Oi, oi! Don't tell Charlotte. And yeah, so the mortgage has been like doubly approved now. Just need to get solicitor stuff sorted, and we think in about 2 months we should be moving in. That's our current
That is fucking
estimate
awesome.
of buying a house and moving in, and then it means I can get a dog. So excited to get a dog.
Congratulations, my friend. And I can also exclusively reveal on this podcast that every patron of $5 and above is invited to Stumpy's house for the housewarming,
What? What the fuck?
where Stumpy will make
do you mean?
cocktails and sing for us all and do some stand-up comedy.
Oh no! See, you know how lest this podcast gone for too long, but you know how I'm well into wanting to do like sort of improv, like bits and stuff on stream, podcasts, whatever. I cannot
Yeah.
think of anything worse in my life than doing stand-up or improv on a stage.
You'd be fine, especially improv.
I'd hate it.
I think you're just a pussy, to be
Yeah,
honest. And I
definitely.
think you know that as well.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely,
think you're
yeah.
denying that. One day we'll get you to do
Nope.
it, and you'll be annoying. You'll be like Gregan teaching Rocket League. You'll be annoyingly good at it, and I'll be there watching, going, "Oh, he is fucking good, isn't he, that
for
bastard?"
fuck's sake, that was good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I can't think of anything worse. Thank you, everybody, for chilling out during this episode of the SubPar Poddy C. Very, very appreciated. Next week, so long as all the servers are back, we will be recording another episode, which is just me and Cole for RLCS Season 9, Week 1. Oh, also, Lana's in Dallas, which is fun. Might go to that. We'll see.
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
that'd be cool. Otherwise, guys, have a fantastic rest of your week. I hope you enjoy the RLCS, and make sure you watch us on our streams that start 3.5 hours before the RLCS begins.
So it starts at 4 p.m. UK time on Saturdays and 1 p.m. UK time on
I
Sundays.
always get it mixed around, don't know why.
But Stumpy, I don't want to miss what Leaf and Matt are saying before the stream starts.
Hey, that's fine, little Timmy. We're going to be raiding them literally before a single word is uttered. So if you come by, you just hang out, you will miss no RLCS action whatsoever because we're going to be hosting as soon as is physically possible.
But Stumpy, I don't enjoy yours and Cole's streams.
Well, don't watch.
Okay.
Why have you come in here and said that you... What the fuck, Timmy? You've ruined my buzz.
And your dog's gonna be shit.
What the fuck? Alright, I'm going to beat the shit out of this little kid. Right, see you later, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
I'm not going to have a shit dog.